And welcome back to Upstaged, the official podcast for Ronin Theater Collaborative. I am E.C. Darlingbond, the marketing director and assistant artistic director for Ronin Theater Collaborative. And with me is a beautiful returning face.
Oh my
Professor
God.
Ben Corbett, star and playwright of Fat Men in Yoga Pants. How's it going, Ben?
What an intro. It's going well. So when I left Arkansas, I was wearing a hoodie, and it actually was cold the week before. It got down to 0 the previous Monday. And I get here, and apparently there is a record heat wave. And I just find that curious that every time I come to Arizona, no matter it's May, March, or August, I jump right into the iron teapot, boiling hot. Oh wait, you don't believe in water here.
No.
So I just jump into the cast iron skillet.
Yeah.
But it is fun to be here.
Water for Arizonans is like owning a house. It's for other people, not
I
us.
understand that. Yeah, it's and again, I really like visiting here. I love the people. I've always had a good time here. It's just Matt, my boyfriend and I've talked about just when I'm there, I miss the color green, but all the various shades of beige and brown and tan are just beautiful. I never thought I'd be a desert person, but it's beautiful here. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's also the spring equinox today, and I believe Mercury is exiting out of retrograde.
It's finally moving out, so all the people who are just in bad moods cannot blame it on that poor planet right now. I'm sorry it's not Mercury in retrograde. Maybe you should face your fears and talk to your mom. I don't know, but it's not a planet's fault this time. It's not. But I understand we're all going through stuff. I'm going through stuff too, and that's okay.
Well, speaking through going through stuff, Fat Men in Yoga Pants is returning. This time to the Main Street Creative Arts Center in our beautiful sister city. It's kind of hard to differentiate cities in Arizona.
Okay.
Because Phoenix just kind of feels like one sprawling mess. And we just casually acknowledge, like, yeah, Mesa is a thing. Glendale is technically a thing. But you're only getting there by freeway. And it just feels like the freeway is the real name of our city.
I have heard much about Phoenix's traffic. I have lived in Dallas before, and I have been in those moments. I do live in a college town in Arkansas where people drive like they think they're in Phoenix. But the town only has 90,000 people. You can calm down. But I have not tasted Phoenix traffic myself behind the wheel of a car. I've just been a passenger, and it's just a time for you to listen to my really cool playlist on Spotify.
That is the best part about
Yes.
Being the guest of just like, you have to drive. You can't control the aux cord right now.
You just have to. And what a chance to listen to music and have talks with your friends.
Absolutely. And so, Fat Men in Yoga Pants, if you would like to give us the elevator pitch, hopefully everyone who has seen our podcast before went and saw it in its original run, but, you know, for those who have since been born.
Okay. Fat Man in Yoga Pants was my response to holding back my rage, and especially my gay rage. And I had felt that I was a voice teacher teaching students to free their voices while my own voice felt squelched, tightened, and ignored. And I felt like quite the hypocrite, especially in an environment of encouraging people to free themselves, while I feel like I was always critiquing myself and making sure I didn't say the wrong thing and making myself small. And I didn't have an outlet for it, so I finally just sat in my office and just started writing because I was mad and I was embarrassed and I was sad, and I didn't feel like I was a place I could talk about it. And inspired by my trips to Valdez Theater Conference as an actor, I went, I could write a play. And I started writing scenes, and my dear friend Cody Golder who believes in me sometimes much more than I believe in myself, gave me some great feedback saying, this is great, you need to write more. And so I decided to, because what else was I going to do? And I do think there's a time when sometimes if you just don't know how to do something, start doing it, and the process will teach you how to do it, especially the stuff that you get wrong. You have to make mistakes or else you're not going to learn anything. And I just found that I just started writing scenes and not knowing if I was a playwright. In fact, I said vehemently, I wasn't a playwright. I'm just mad. And Cody and I started working together. He just said, Ben, keep writing, keep writing, keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. I was waiting for the time saying, Ben, this is cute, but this is not what you do. And I never heard that. It was like, go, go, go. And Cody went from encourager to dramaturg and helping me put together the puzzle of the show, which is really based on an hour 15. Well, the show's an hour and a half. Vinyasa 2 class was my structure. And I used the class structure in order to put stories together and experiences. And I wrote this and I said, I'm not a playwright. I don't know what I'm doing. But I thankfully sent it off to the play lab at the Valdez Theater Conference in Alaska, and I was accepted. My first play I ever wrote was accepted to the play lab at Valdez Theater Conference. And I still said, I'm not a playwright. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I read it. I read it with a music stand in front of me. And people responded in ways that surprised me, angered me, saddened me. And then the feedback from the panel was incredibly encouraging. And also people just gave responses to what they felt about their bodies, or just being gay in a space, or being female in a space. And I was encouraged to keep going. So since 2023, against my ego, I am turning into a playwright. And I'm very lucky that Ronin Theater Collective, I still call it theater, but I'm Gen X, so it's fine. So it's fine.
You spell it ER, that's acceptable.
I do spell it, yeah, I do, yeah. And just said, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is great. Go, go. And I just decided that I had to really look beyond the identity I had built myself. I'm a voice teacher. I'm a designated Linklater voice teacher. By the way, I'm a damn good one. But what else am I? And I realized that I wasn't allowing myself to be anything else. Because if I allowed myself to be anything else, that meant failure. But Cody and the show would not let me stay small. Being a designated Linklater voice teacher is really hard. It took a lot of work. It took me 11 years to become it. And I still am. But what else you got? And I think live, Cody, we're saying it's time to grow. And growing always hurts. It's always hard. But sometimes you just have to grow and see what's out there. And so it came to Phoenix at the Irish Cultural Center and played, and was really hard. I wrote a really hard play. I should have thought about that before I started acting it. A very sweaty, emotionally rich, sometimes really messy, sometimes silly, sometimes awkward play. And it was received, and I was thankful for the people who watched it. And it seems to be having a life. My first plays had a production, and I am fully aware that that's usually not how the process is, and I'm very humble about it. As I've said, I don't know what I'm doing. It's just I'm letting kind of life guide me into growing another branch on my artistic tree, if that makes sense. So I'm back because Paige said, "Hey, I really like this script. I'd love to do more with Ronin. Could we give it a go?" And we found a time to make it happen, and I'm back and I'm doing it. Phoenix has responded really well to this play, and I don't know what that says about Phoenix, and I don't claim to know because I'm not an Arizonian. Maybe it's all the heat and the sweat. Maybe you all identify with that. I mean, I'm from Oklahoma. I mean, I do too, but our heat is much more humid and soupy and a little bit more stinky than y'all's is. So I don't know. I don't have the answers, but this seems to be happening whether I like it or not, and I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah. That's Well, that already takes care of one of my questions of like, so how did this come to be, this opportunity at Main Street Creative Arts Center? And also, thank you for inviting the creative team back
Oh yeah.
to our roles.
Oh yeah. I was
Because
just
this
like,
is a remounting of the production.
oh
It's
yeah.
obviously going to be somewhat different as different spaces necessitate a different staging, but you know, that's just the nature of the traveling theater beast, as it were.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't want to do it at least without offering the band to get back together. And if people couldn't do it, I understand, but everybody went, yes, yes, got it. And I went, that's rad as hell. Okay, cool. So the band's back together, the kids are back, and I'm just honored, you know, I really am. Everybody in my last time around was just so cool and so willing to support me. And I hope I was supportive back. I didn't want to be the grand dame being, you know, chewing out people and telling people, no, it'll never work. How dare you? Because one person shows can be like that. They can be insufferable. And I didn't want that to happen. I was just like, okay, y'all design it. Here's my thoughts, but let's see what happens. And I was very happy, and I'm very happy with the team.
Well, I think that also comes from your experience also being a director and a documentarian. Like, you are somebody who has already had that active experience of knowing, like, I bring my vision into it, but it has to be collaborative. You know, it's Ronin Theater Collaborative. We have to say that every now and then.
Yeah. It's something I'm discovering in filmmaking, and again, something that I just have realized I have a talent for, or really just a curiosity for. You know, but one thing about it is I'm learning is that have the vision, but trust people to know something too. Here's the vision. Here's what I offer. Let's talk. Now get out of their damn way so that they can do it. Either let Cody focus lights. Sure, we talk about colors and patterns. Sure, and we should. I wrote it. But also let Cody and Cody talk amongst themselves. You know what I mean? If I'm, you know, if I'm directing a documentary, you know, I'm going to let my cameraman from Dallas set up the shot. Why? I don't know how to do that. But I can talk to our guests over here in the corner just about life and get them relaxed and help them know, hey, you're going to look great. So that my cameraman at Tribal Video in Dallas, quick plug, can do his job, because I can't do his job as much better. And if he's deigning to help me, I probably should let him. And then look what happens when you trust people. Look what happens when you let them have their voice. Oh God, I hate that. Let me say that again. What happens if you get out of the way of their voices? What if you let people showcase their talent? Your work is good. And that's like great. You know what I mean? That's really cool. Oh, look, my documentary looks expensive, even though it has a $3,000 budget. Oh, wow, look at this, you know, this lighting design made for a round theater with me talking for an hour and a half and sweating profusely. And look how it keeps people's attention. People stay. No one walked out. It's great. You know, because I shut the hell up and let them do their jobs. What a great lesson for all of us, or at least for me.
Well, speaking of lessons, when you did that in the world premiere run in Phoenix last summer, you know, and you were considering bringing it back and what other steps, what lessons did you learn from that production, and has that influenced like the script? Have there been any major changes to it, or at least a change in approach?
One thing I learned was that this is a sweaty production, and you can't stop that. this is a really strenuous, physically demanding show. And though I need to take care of myself, also that's what I have signed up for. And what I learned from the audience was that they were witnessing someone having strength even when it's hard. So one thing I had to know was, okay, we're going to go to the gym 4 times a week so we can do a play. Like my since that time my chest has kind of bulked up, so my arms have bulked up some. So I've got the energy for this show.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome. Thank you.
No, please.
So
I'll keep in mind for when we do the charity calendar at the end of the year of just
I'm available. I'm available. And I don't look, when you're in your 50s, you don't care anymore. So please call me. What I also found out is that I could not ignore the current regime in our country anymore. And I went back to the DEI part and I said, this is already feeling a little dated. So I had to really face my anger. I also had to still allow myself to be safe. And I still had to let the audiences be safe and feel something uncomfortable in that safety. So what I've been tracking lightly is how DEI programs have left the American college and what happens when you benefit. I just speak for myself. I don't speak for anybody of color in that play. I try to stay as much in my lane as I can. But what happens when you've benefited from those programs and suddenly they leave? And how do your colleagues feel about it?
Yeah.
Sometimes the response may be surprising.
Well, that's what I found so striking was, I, speaking for myself, not for Ronin Theater Collaborative,
Right.
I would say I identify as like an intersectional feminist. I understand that we are multiple identities all at the same time.
Sure.
As one person. And what I found really striking about those portions of the play in relation to DI is where you're saying, how I interpreted was just like, you're in this weird double bind to where you are a minority, but you are also a white man, and you are being asked to speak up for everybody because you are, what was the term you used, the acceptable one?
Yeah. Oh God, what do I say? I should know my play. I'm the one. I make people comfortable. It's the famous line in my play of, I just feel so comfortable when I talk to you. I can come and just tell you anything. Great. Which someone said to me. And but I think it's like you're the acceptable one. You're the one. And what an impossible job that is. Because I cannot know what a black trans let's say black trans female student of 19 knows about life. I can't know that. I also know in some ways I don't have to. And I think that's the evil, in my opinion. That's the evil. Because I know the way I present, I'm acceptable as long as I don't make people upset. Because just my presence without me saying anything is okay. You don't threaten me until I start saying things, and then it's a real fine line. Depends on what I say. So there are the people, and Poseidon, whatever god you believe in, love them. There are people who will never be in the room where it happens, and that is horrible. There are people like me who can be and often are in the room where it happens. We just have to be quiet. And I'm not saying that makes me better. I'm just saying it's my specific part of DEI. That's all I mean. And especially now, what do we do with that? And that's kind of where that part of Fat Man in Yoga Pants is right now. Because now we don't have to now we don't have to make sure we're compliant anymore.
Yeah.
We can't be. There cannot be proof that we can be. So what do we do? And it's interesting how people feel about that.
Sorry, I had this image in my head of somebody being told, like, how do we prove we're racist enough for it to be acceptable now? Of just like, I'm going to casually leave this plan hood over this chair and let people draw what assumptions they will during this meeting. But
it's wild. It's wild. It's so hard because I don't know if I'm being fair, and it's hard to talk about. So I'm going to talk in draft. The people who were fighting so much for DEI now say, well, we can't do that. And I wonder if I'm being fair when I say, but 3 years ago, you were like, oh, we have to do all these programs. But then there's also, well, but the school won't pay for those programs anymore. Okay, so how do we do it? Or is the answer, well, we got to take the plan down. Oh, well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting what people are comfortable fighting for when there's funding for it.
Well, that's the thing. When you can't fight for it anymore, can you fight? And I wonder if I'm cruel to judge people. I wonder if I am. So I haven't figured that out for myself yet. Because if the funding isn't there, what can you do? But then again, is that where the creativity lies?
I'm sorry, Ben, every time I talk to you, I always get lost in your profundity. I apologize for that. I am aware that I am trying to keep up.
No, and I'm not saying I'm right. I mean, again, this is all in draft. I'm a cisgender gay white male. I am intrinsically a mess. And when I go to the Tulsa Eagle, I'm the predominant race. So that gives me privilege.
Have any of your colleagues have any of your colleagues expressed interest in coming to the show? Then again, the show is in Phoenix, so that's a big commitment of just like, Ben, of course I'll come see your show. Let me just buy a ticket and get a hotel.
I know exactly. Not in that way. I've had people ask about it. What I was really moved by is when my boyfriend and his family came to see it. Bought tickets and flew out of Tulsa and stayed with family in Phoenix. Because I do, through my boyfriend, have family. I mean, Matt and I aren't married, but so they're technically not family, but have community. I'll say that. In Phoenix. So having a row of 7 or 8 people through my boyfriend's family, and talk about really horrific things going, well, you decided to come, oops, but also just the joy of like being able to share that with them and that it's okay. And then having like food and drinks afterwards and just laughing uproariously after an experience was just really cool. So not so much colleagues. There is a drag queen in Arkansas has expressed like maybe I would do it. We talked about it last summer, actually, before I came to Phoenix, of doing it at a pizza parlor that is closed now. So there's a drag artist there that I might pick up that conversation with her about. We shall see. There is a theater in Kentucky that wants to do it, and they have stopped operations for the sake of funding, but they haven't closed, and we've talked about doing the show as a fundraiser for them. There is a theater in Santa Monica, Highways Theater, which is important in gay theatrical history. It's where Tim Miller came out of. He created that theater, that has expressed interest in the show, with perhaps me collaborating with another artist in town so we can draw more people. So we shall see. We shall see.
So as the show goes forward, you're going to be performing March 27th through the 29th after your illustrious turn in the Midnight Oil 24-hour theater, 48-hour film festival.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Right. I've told John, I've said, look, the only costume choices I have are in a suitcase in a hotel in Phoenix. I am limited. So if I have to be a cop, and he has said we will figure it out. So I have just said, you know, I have what's in my suitcase, and I can't go to Arkansas then come back in time for rehearsal. But I am extremely excited about Midnight Oil. I love 24-hour play festivals. They are terrifying. They are absolutely terrifying, and I love them. I love it. It's so much fun.
Are you ever nervous about the idea of one day turning the show over to another performer? Like, if there's a theater, I don't know, let's say the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, someone decides, like, I want to bring your show there, but I want to perform in it as Ben. Do you look forward to that day? Is there a bit of, like, dread of, like, I don't know, the show is so much of me, it would be scary to turn it over to somebody else?
You know what? I thought about it. I actually had someone approach me about that in Valdez, not to do the show, but ask me about it. And I was kind of struck dumb by it, because I think it, like last year I hadn't thought about it, because I'm like, well, it's obviously me. I'm Ben Corbett. Who else could it be? Well, okay. And I honor like Tim Miller, who like shows are so blatantly him. And not that he says no, but just like they're so Tim Miller.
Yeah.
But then I also think, well, there are some stories in there that I think someone could take on easily. I want to answer your question. I think I should at some point. I would like to witness me up there. I don't know if I require them to call themselves Ben. And I don't know. I might be willing to collaborate, like if they want to add their spice, so I'd have final say, or just do the story, but you may call yourself Scott or Andrew. And I think if art's gonna really transform, I think it does have to be spoken by more than just one mouth. And I admit that scares me, because what if he does it better? But he might. And isn't that cool? I would be so passive aggressive at the after party. I'd be like, "Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
That
Hey,
was
let's go watch
wonderful."
Syndicate,
Right.
starring Philip Seymour Hoffman. Another
Right.
art piece about someone who's replaced by their own
Yes.
actor.
Yes. Oh, you really made those. I saw you making those choices. Yeah, I saw you making those.
How dare you dox me in life? In real time?
Exactly. I'm up for it. I don't think I'm ready yet, but here's the thing. I am aware that I'm in my mid-50s. And there also might be something that's said for, how does this play sound in another generation's mouth? Or just like a millennial, or maybe one day a Gen Z, what do they do with this show when it releases from their belly? I'd be open to that. And I'd be kind of curious, like, what kind of rewrites would have to happen, which I'm not above. I'm an egomaniac, but I don't have an ego about making art better. I think I'm considering it more than I did. I don't think I'm quite done yet. In fact, I think I've just started. But
Yeah, you're still in rehearsal, so we don't have to put the cart before the donkey right now.
Right. But I'd listen. I'd be interested, because someone may have a way in, you know?
So aside from Midnight Oil, do you have any other projects coming down the pipeline?
Yes. I'm directing a second film. I'm directing a film about the first man to be legally married to another man in the state of Arkansas. He is an artist in Eureka Springs. His name is Zeke Taylor. And we're making a 25-minute to 45-minute movie just about his life. Music choices are happening. And a roll is done, but it's being edited in its second edit. So that's happening. I'm getting into recording audiobooks and may start my own audiobook business and voiceover practice. And I am also wanting to see where playwriting takes me. I want to write another. I'll be going to the Desert Playwright Retreat in Palm Springs, which is a playwright retreat for queer people, and I've been asked to come. So honored. I've only written one play, and I'm thinking about writing another show that Cody knows about, called A Bear Got in the Hotel, which is, I don't know. Have I told you about that? I can't remember.
No.
What I wanted. I want to write another one-man show, but one that doesn't have to have me in the lead, honestly. I'm not going to be Ben. Um, about someone who a man who's proposed to. He says no, and then his boyfriend disappears, and without telling him where he's gone, and the boyfriend gets on a plane and flies to Valdez, Alaska, because that's where his boyfriend is from, and that's the only place he can think of where he would go, because he can't find him in town at all. And as he's checking in and talking to the audience about his relationship and why he said no, there are rumblings from the first floor lobby. Then there are people running past by the hall. Then there is a very broken, poorly fixed alarm. And then there is a growl. And what I'd like to look at is someone who has made a really big life decision that's in jeopardized relationship, now in a point of crisis, where a bear, by the way, the bear's not a surprise, it's in the title. So the bear gets in the hotel where the bear suddenly tries to get in the room. And why does a bear want to choose this guy is what I'm looking at. And what choices do we make under duress? What choices do we make when we feel we've got plenty of time as opposed to 30 seconds?
Okay, I'm going to ask a ridiculous question and feel free to ignore it because this is going to be way too personal.
Yes.
Okay, is there ever pressure with, as a gay man to turn down another gay when you were in your dating life? Did you ever feel guilty about turning down another man? Because it's just like, well, who else is he going to find who's also out and available within this area? I know that's a ridiculous question.
That's okay. Do you mean like in marriage proposal or just to date?
Let's say to date.
It happened. Go ahead.
I bring this up because I had to have a very awkward conversation with my dad once in Hawaii during his 25th anniversary to my mother, where I was like, hey, we don't know anybody else from our same cult. Am I going to just have to, how do I date anyone? Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't know. There are some, you could interfaith marry, I suppose, as long as they think about joining it eventually. And it's just like, okay, I'm 16.
Cool. So
good talk, Dad.
So are you asking how does it feel to turn someone down?
Yeah, well, especially with your experience when being out was not as readily
see what you're saying.
As readily acceptable. Was there ever any pressure to feel like, I don't want you to feel like I am rejecting you, like someone else from your own community is rejecting you, but the way you eat your potatoes is disgusting to me?
Oh, I see. Yeah. I learned to do that eventually because I've been on the opposite side of it. Mm-hmm. And it hurts so badly to be turned down by another gay man in the time period I was coming up, because who else was there? Now, the answer may have been plenty. And if you saw my show as you did, there were plenty of people that just didn't want to talk to me, or I was afraid to talk to them. But I think sometimes there can be, I have to say yes to you because who else is going to come? Like, this is my chance to be married. This is my chance to be a boyfriend. And those are horrible reasons to choose somebody, because it's not about them, it's about you. And it's about your anxiety, your insecurity, your fear of dying alone, your fear of being ridiculed or cast out. And that's not love. That's not love at all. That's not running towards love. That's running away from death. And that's a terrible reason to walk down the aisle, or at least hold hands, or even hook up.
Yeah.
It's, they're just, I think it's a mistake when the answer is you running from something rather than running towards something. And it hurts. And it hurts when I got older and became more aware of love and people are approaching me and me having to turn them down. It's horrible to witness someone's heartbreak because of something you said. But there's also the heartbreak of humoring somebody to a point where you're saying I love you and you don't mean it. Love isn't humoring somebody. Love isn't pretending something's there. Love is hopeful, but it's not humoring. And there's just some pain you just have to feel because the truth is worth it, even if the truth hurts.
Even if the truth is a grizzly bear in the hotel.
Yes. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
What could that bear be about? So
This is
that
gold for our next interview after you've written the play. And we're just
exactly.
yeah, last time we talked about a little play you were working on.
Right. And when I'm in Palm Springs in October, I will be working on it.
Yeah.
A couple of more things. I did have an idea actually flying here this time around, and I've thought about writing a 10-minute play called Hollywood, Oklahoma, which is a kind of which is based on because Tulsa, Oklahoma is becoming such a film mecca right now because of the lowdown. And because like people are coming to Oklahoma to film things. And so I wanted to write a short 10-minute play about a local actor who is suddenly directed by a star and may not know how to handle the ferocious, the glee, the genius, the terror of being directed by somebody when you have no time to rehearse, but know you're in the presence of supposed fame. And especially in a time when other people on set may give you notes as well based on the director. And someone going, I don't know what to do. I've thought of making the actor based on me, but not making it me. I don't want to be the guy. But Hollywood, Oklahoma would just kind of fun. And it's not a critique of Ethan Hawke. It's not that, but just filming in the middle of I've heard he's a great guy. I hope I get to work with him. But but just kind of when Hollywood comes to town and the lights on you, what do you do? And I've just been curious about just writing a quick scene about being directed by someone in LA who is here for another hour and you've got to deliver. This is your shot. I noticed that a lot of my plays, both ideas, again, I've only written one play and I've written a couple of scenes, a couple of monologues, are about moments of decisions, high stakes decisions. Make the decision now. And I'm not sure what that says about me yet. I don't have that knowledge yet, but I've just noticed like making life or death decisions right now seems to be coming up for me. But Hollywood, Oklahoma may be something next year.
Well, when you have a draft, I would love to read it.
Yeah, it may just be like a 10-page thing. I may start working on it like Sunday, just kind of, it may just be a comedy sketch. I don't think it's a 3-actor, but just kind of the moment of being overwhelmed and fear of getting it wrong and saying the wrong thing when there can be such promise if you get it right. I think it's just interesting.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. Hollywood, Oklahoma, at least is the title of perhaps just the sketch. We'll see.
And we'll see you at Fat Men in Yoga Pants at the Main Street Creative Arts Center, March 27th through the 29th, one weekend only.
Yes, we will. There are 3 shows. There is not a Monday, is my understanding. So there are 3 shows, which means I'll have more time to rest and drink water. But afterwards, there will be queso. There will be queso somewhere. I'm from a land where people call it cheese dip. I'm like, it's not cheese dip, it's queso. Thank you.
Yeah.
So if I can sweat profusely and speak the truth, maybe there'll be chips and queso somewhere. We'll find out. Arizona, I've had your chips and queso. I want it again.
That's what I'm gonna title this podcast. I'm gonna eschew all of our previous title conventions because like Arizona, I just want your queso again.
I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that. I mean, I think there's a lot of truth in that. That's fine with me. I don't care.
Ben, thank you again so much for meeting up, and we will see you at the Midnight Oil Theater Festival tomorrow. And we will see you in, oh geez, one more weekend to go. We are so excited to see you.
I know it's going to be fun. So I have to be at I have to be somewhere at 8:30 by Uber. I should probably figure out where that is tomorrow, shouldn't I? Yeah, but I'll be there.